What is up, dudes? Lady dudes, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I got a little deck profile for you, and I just got finished testing this deck because it's kind of crazy. I was a little surprised actually at how well it performed, but I only did 10 duels, but I went 8-2, which is pretty damn good. Obviously, they were like random duels on Nexus, so it wasn't anything crazy, but 8-2 is nothing to scoff at. I mean, not any deck can just go 8-2, and I'm not saying this deck is amazing, but I think it can do some things. But yeah, I played ZOODIAC. I know ZOODIAC is dead, and a lot of people consider it dead, but it was all right. And I didn't even play like a weird Mech Knight variant, a weird variant. You know, Scapegoat's only at 1, so I can't just abuse that. I did play it, but I can't just abuse that out the butthole. And yeah, I played like just kind of stunny variant of ZOODIAC. So let's get into the deck profile and let me show you what I played. So as far as the monsters go, pretty basic. I mean, nothing crazy here. 3 Whiptails. She's probably the best one now that we don't have Drident and we don't have like ratpier at multiples. So she's like the main way you remove monsters, especially if your opponent is foolish enough to put anything in defense mode. You eat a couple life points even if you can't get over it, and then you just banish them because she's really good. She quick effect equip herself to any ZOODIAC XCs, and also if she's a material for a ZOODIAC XCs and it battles any monster at the end of the damage calculation, you banish that monster. So even if you attack a defense monster, you don't even beat it in the battle, you just banish it. If you do beat it, you still kill it and you banish it. If your opponent attacks into you, you die. Banish it. So that's really, really nice because a lot of decks just have to use the battle phase, and this is really good. Offensively, to defend yourself, you can quick effect equip it from your hand or field. Sorry, I didn't mention it's hand or field it can quick effect. So it's kind of like a Lycoris and how versatile it is with that quick effect bouncing around the field, equipping to stuff. Anyway, next I play 3 Thoroughblade. This was arguable, but I decided to go with 3. I definitely wouldn't play less than 2 because you do need that stat line. He's the biggest one at 1600, and you kind of need that because without Drident, you can't just remove stuff. So sometimes you just need to get a bigger body on board. So you kind of need him. I played him at 3. He's actually pretty good. His discard effect came up a couple times. Not going to lie, it was pretty good. I was discarding like combos, and I discarded like extra monsters in hand because I do play 8 of them, so you can draw 2-3 monster hands sometimes, but that was pretty good. And if he's a material on a monster, on an XC's monster, it deals piercing damage, which is pretty cool. Ratpier, which is not anywhere near, honestly, if Ratpier's at more than 1, 2 or 3, it's literally the best monster in your deck, like straight up. But we don't, so it's not on normal summon. It foolish burials any ZOODIAC card. A lot of times you send a monster or combo, depends on the situation. You send a monster because your XC's monsters can special summon them or equip them straight from the graveyard as materials. So it's really versatile in whatever you send. If it was at multiples, it can special a Ratpier straight from deck if it's attached as material. So that's a really good effect if it is at more than 1, but it's not. So you can't special summon from deck because the only one is material. Then I play 1 Ram. This actually came up just sometimes if you have, like, if you're going through Barrage or Tenki and you don't have an optimal hand and you don't think Whiptail is good enough to just set them like an XCs with Whiptail, so like, oh, attack me, but you're going to banish your monster. All you need is any monster removal. And same thing with Ram, but at least with Ram, you put a 2,000 booty on the board, so if you have enough stun in your hand, your goal is just to keep your opponent from putting anything on the field that can get over 2,000. And if you can do that, you'll probably be in a pretty good position. But he also negates trap cards. If he's a material for an XCs, the XCs can attach a material to negate a trap card that targeted that XCs monster. So it's good against impermanence, but it didn't. That effect didn't really come up. But the booty did come up, so I think I'd still play 1. He's fine. He also has a nice float effect where if he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a ZOODIAC in the grave except for himself and special summon it back. So that actually came up 1 time during testing, which is pretty good. Then I played 3 Ash, no surprise there, nothing crazy. 3 Tenki and 3 Barrage. I know sometimes people would drop Tenki to 2, but for me, I'm just trying to play as consistent as possible and like not like overplay too many monsters. So I would even consider dropping Thoroughblade and just keeping both of these at 3, just because, like, I don't know, just because I want the deck as consistent as possible, and these cards help that happen. If you don't know, Tenki is literally Rhoda, but for Beast Warriors, and they left it at 3, so yeah. Like, this card will go to 1 as soon as I feel like a good enough Beast Warrior archetype comes out in the future, and I'm sure it will at some point. I'm sure we'll see every type get like a good archetype at some point, and we'll probably see this go to 1 at some point, just like Rhoda, but Not yet, so I'm playing at 3. And Barrage special straight from the deck. Any card that's special straight from the deck is busted. A couple times I opened this and Tenki, that's even more busted because Barrage pops any card on your field to just special from any Zoodiac from deck. So it's kind of like Dragonic Diagram, but better because specials instead of adds. So these were insane. These were really good for consistency. Came up really clutch. 2 Desires. I only saw 1 Desires the entire 10 matches, but it helped me draw and into more back row, which increased my board, defensive capabilities, and it was good. Wouldn't complain. I play a good amount of 3-ofs. Like, you don't need Ratpier, Ram. You mainly need these 2. These are the main ones you need, so it's fine. You're not really worried about Desires. And then I play the 1 Scapegoat. So this actually came up. Funny thing is, I only played 1 actual meta deck as far as the TCG or OCG goes, I guess. No, I played ABC. That's like not meta, but it's Rogue, and it's higher level Rogue, I would say. Has potential to be a good deck. We just saw top of YCS 3rd place. But I lost to the ABC player. That was one of my 2 losses, and I did beat a Thunder Dragon player because of Scapegoat. It is what it is. It's a 1-of, Saki 1-of. I only saw it. No, I saw it twice during the whole testing, but won both those duels. Pretty much I had like a bunch of stun cards. I stunned him, but he still played through it and ended with like a Titan and a Unicorn, I believe. And then I just flipped this on his end phase. I ate the damage and flipped this, and he scooped because he had no cards in hand, and I don't think he had any extenders left, and he was just going to be top decking after that. So he just scooped right there. So Scapegoat. Good to go. 2 ZOODIAC combo. This card was pretty good. I used its draw effect a couple times, and its other effect was good too. I had one guy attack into me, and I used this to just throw a whip tail straight from the deck onto it and then onto my XCs, and it just banished the monster right there after he wasn't even big enough to get over it because of the 1200 increase to the attack points. So this card is pretty good. I think I would maybe consider playing 1. I feel like I saw it in my hand more than I wanted to, but this was good. 3 goes a match. Your whole deck is Earth. Entire deck is Earth. Even your Scapegoat tokens are Earth. Like, you can even just Scapegoat under goes in. It's not even a big deal. I should probably play Cerberus just in case. But I already have Mrs. Radiant. I could at least Mrs. Radiant Link Spider, and I guess that's okay. At least for getting damage on board under goes in. But Cerberus or Ningirsu, but it's also, you're really tight in the extra deck because of your XEs. But I have to play around with it a little bit. This actually never came up. I saw it a couple times. I saw it against the ABC guy. I drew 2 against the ABC guy, and that's probably why I lost, because ABC's played like lights only, so completely unaffected by goes in. And I don't know if I used it. I think both matches I saw this, I lost. So actually, I'll maybe look at dropping it down to 2 and fitting 1 more card in. I play a full Solemn Brigade, 3 strikes, 1 warning, 1 judgment. Nothing crazy here, just saying no. Pretty much 3 impermanents. Again, saying no. This was pretty good as a hand trap, and also just setting it. I did set it a couple times off a trap trick. It was good. Maybe I drop it down to 2. I feel like maybe I saw it a little bit too much. I didn't really need hand traps. I wasn't playing. I mean, I also wasn't playing a lot of decks that were meta, so hand traps are usually better against meta decks. But yeah, 3 was good. Maybe 2. I don't know. 2 Heavy Storm Duster. This was clutch because I did play a guy who just like set 4. I went first, set this. He set 4. On his end phase, I acted, or on, what'd I do? When he went into, no, on end phase. Yeah. On end phase, I just trap tricked for Heavy Storm and then Heavy Stormed 2 of his back row. And then at that point, he just had like three cards left to fight back with, and I had like 5 cards on field, so I just couldn't do it. But Trap Trick was really good, and Heavy Storm Duster. Trap Trick was nice. Paleozoic Dynamiscus was okay. I think I had 2 duels where it was really good, and then I had 2 duels where it was not good at all. Like, I just didn't have a card to discard because I had to set my whole hand. I just couldn't help it. 1 duel I did mess up where I set combo and this and like 1 other back row, but I just shouldn't have set the combo. Like, I didn't even have an Xyz on board to like make this worth it. And I should have just held it in hand and then discarded it to banish something. And that was my fault. But I think I saw it 2 other times where it was just not even usable because I had to play my whole hand, sort of, to set up the kind of board I was looking for. And this card, I just didn't have, I couldn't pay cost for it. Or not cost, but I couldn't activate it with the discard. So it was okay, but I needed monster removal because without Drident, this deck cannot remove monsters. It's crazy. Anyway, moving on to the extract, we have one Hammer Kong. Doesn't do anything. You just do it because the XCs for ZOODIACs, if you don't know, and it's been a while since you've seen them, they can pretty much just overlay on top of each other. So you use Hammer Kong. He doesn't do anything, but he just becomes a material for the other ones. So you just summon him and then just summon others on top, and he's a material to detach at least to activate their effects. Also, all of them gain stats equal to the stats, the combined stats of all the materials equipped to it. So if you have a Whiptail and a Thoroughblade, your monster has 2800 attack and 400 defense. You know, Ram gives you the 2000 defense, and that's why they all have question mark for stats. Broadbull gets to attack directly. I did not use that a single time. It didn't come up. If it had, it would have been somewhere. It almost came up against the ABC player. That was actually a really good match. I almost had a chance, but I think I was like 800 away with him because I could get him up to 28, but I'm pretty sure he had like 3,600 life points left because he started really slow, and I just didn't have enough to like put on Borbo to kill with one attack. So I did end up losing that one, but he was still good. You usually use him for extra materials, just like Hammer Kong. 2 Chalkanine because you usually don't need the special as much as you need the equip, but she was good. She just lets you special summon a Thoroughblade monster, or not Thoroughblade, a ZOODIAC monster from your graveyard back to the field, but it can't be used as XYZ material for a summon, which means Whiptail can still equip herself, she just can't be used for the summon of one. So that's pretty cool there. She was good, and Tiger Moore is probably the best one. She just she takes any ZOODIAC in your grave and just equips it to herself. So I would like a couple times I like linked into Mrs. Radiant because I still had a ZOODIAC on field, and then I went into her and equipped a monster I linked into it. So I'd like have a Whiptail and a Thoroughblade. I would link the Whiptail and like an XCs I already had on field into the Mrs. Radiant. Then underneath I had Thoroughblade into Tiger Mortar with a material, detach a material, and then equip her. And then I had Mrs. at 19 plus that at 35, and I could banish whatever I battled, and that was a good amount of damage. That came up a couple times. Like I said, Mrs. Radiant buffs everything in my deck by 500, plus you can make it under Scapegoat, even under Gozen. It's pretty cool. This never came up because I didn't really play many Backrow decks. If I had, this totally could have come up, but I'd still probably play it just in case it happens. And also, it takes any Beast Warrior, and/or Winged Beast, which means Scapegoat tokens can go right into this thing, which is pretty cool. Link Spider and Link Karibo, these are just for your Scapegoat. I scapegoated twice and won those games, so cool. Not really surprised. Link Karibo, Phoenix, Unicorn, and Borlo. These are the only ones I played. This is a more control-based deck, so I'm not super worried about OTKing. That's why I didn't play Borlsword. And I only had one more slot. If I had more slots, I'd play both. But I felt Borload was more impactful because I feel like if I'm not in a state where I can just kill, then I'd rather have Borload instead of Borlsword. So I felt like Borload covers more of a wide array of situations, especially in a deck like this that doesn't OTK super hard. So that's everything I played. As far as monsters I want to talk about outside of that are cards. They're all monsters, so whatever. We're Drident, Broadbull, and Ratpier. These are the 3 ZOODIAC monsters that are on the ban list. And I know you may look at this deck and you're like, this deck's garbage. And yeah, it's hard. The deck's easy to play, but it's hard to win sometimes because you don't have monster removal. That's why I force myself to play Dynamiscus, is because you don't have monster removal. If you don't already have your Solemn set to just remove on summon, or you don't have Scapegoat to go through Nightmare plays to remove stuff, or you can't get to Whiptail to banish stuff in battle, it can be very tough to just out problematic monsters. It's the biggest problem, and that's what hurts the most about not having Drident, because Drident, if you don't know, is just a quick effect pop on either player's turn. Just any card. Just target any card on the field, destroy it, or face-up card, sorry. Which is really, really good, and it makes for disruption on your opponent's turn. It makes for helping you just remove stuff on your turn to just, when you're breaking boards, and we don't have it. Even at 1, this would be so nice just for, just making a board that can just disrupt a little more. Built-in disruption is better, so I'm not just hoping I top deck, strikes and warnings and judgments and stuff to interrupt my opponent. As far as Broadbull goes, actually, I could see, because Drident is so archetype locked to ZOODIACs, I could see Drident coming off the ban list. Maybe they do it at 1 just as a trial thing at first, and then if it's fine. The thing I think a lot of people forget is that ZOODIACs never played under Master Rules 4. So ZOODIACs were played in a format where they could literally just place 4 Xyz monsters in a line. But you can't do that now. They need to make a Link monster first. So most, like, compared to that kind of board with 4 Xyz monsters, it'd have to be a Link monster pointing down at 2 Xyz monsters. And that's like the most, and that's if like they went off. Usually, like in one turn, we usually wouldn't be able to do that. But so I don't know. I mean, I think Drident could definitely come off at 1 for a trial period to see if it works. And then Broadbull. Broadbull's the one where I'd be like, probably just leave Broadbull, Konami. You can probably leave Broadbull. If they brought off, I could see him bringing him off at 1. The only problem is like it's like Kagari sort of for Sky Strikers, as far as like being that piece where just like no matter what your play is, you just get a card to your hand like for free every turn if you have it. So like it's like where the OCG hit Kagari down to 1 so that you're limited in how many times you can do that if you don't play cards that like reshuffle it back into your deck, like Hercules base and this deck ZOODIAC combo. You can't just do that for free every single turn. Where when it was at 3, you literally could just every turn you're just getting a free card, which is just busted. You shouldn't be able to do that. And so maybe they put it once that you can get it once, and then if you want to get it again, you'd have to shuffle it back with ZOODIAC combo or some other kind of card. But I would never see them putting this back past 1. And then the last card here is Ratpier. And I could see Ratpier coming off too. Like, sure, it gets monsters on the board and helps you extend into getting those Link monsters on board to set you up for summoning your XCs under them. But, I mean, you could put this at multiple now, and because we don't even have Drident, it's like, what is it good for? Like, the engine's fine, but, like, you're making a really mediocre Link play, and you're not even making any interruption out of it. Like, it's not even like you're setting up Drident to, like, really interrupt your opponent in a really nice way. But, so it's like, meh. And this card is like so much better. It's like poop. It's like meh at 1, but at multiples, even just 2, it's pretty good. So we'll see if these ever come off the ban list in the near future. I'm definitely keeping an eye on it though, but I was surprised. I mean, I went into it, I was like, I'm going to play 10 matches. If I do pretty well, I'll make a deck profile. If not, I won't. And 8-2 is pretty good. Beat a Thunder Dragon player. Sure, Scapegoat did it, but I drew it. So what do you want me to do? But I think that's pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. Let me know if you're interested in this, because this is just a deck I never got to play when it was in its prime, and I kind of want to do it now because I like the way the deck plays. It definitely has some very cool control with like little combos in there. Well, can be some more extensive combos, but not crazy. Deck was pretty easy to use now, but that's also without Drident or Broadbull, which does make it a little more complicated. Overall, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed using it, so if you guys are interested in this, go ahead and try this out. Feel free to copy the deck list and let me know how it goes. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the deck profile, subscribe to the channel for more stuff in the future from me. But I'm going to get the hell out of here. I will see you in the next one. Peace.